Alright, Potsticker dumplings, also known as Momos. Now the more observant among you right now will be noticing that under my left hand is my new hob, and we've had a new cooker fitted. Well, we've had a new oven and hob fitted. I couldn't go for gas because it's too close to this wall over here for regulations for gas, but we have gone for quite a fast hob, ceramic hob. For this dish you will need a fairly large saucepan, fry pan, and one over which you can set some kind of lid. This is the one I'll be using, and it's rather useful for that purpose. Right, for the filling I've got 500 grams of ground pork, of pork mince, and I have an egg. I have about half a cup of finely chopped spring onions, a generous tablespoon of soy sauce, which I've made up from Chinese superior light soy sauce, and from Golden Mountain seasoning sauce. I've also got some pepper. It's probably not traditional, but I do actually like adding a bit of pepper into this one. It's rather nice. And I've also got half a shot glass of, this one is just a dry Fino sherry, or you can use, or preferably you would use a Chinese wine, cooking wine. Okay, so I'm going to get that all into there, and then what we do then is just mix it all up. In with the egg, in with the soy sauce, and in with the sherry. And then we just get in there down and dirty with our hand and get that all mixed together. My shirt in Thai, it said if it's not spicy I'm not eating, which is written in English underneath, and it's a Mark Wiens t-shirt. I don't know if any of you are followers of Mark Wiens, but he's fabulous. I like Mark Wiens very much, and I like the Food Ranger as well. Alright, something I forgot to mention was the garlic. I've got in there about 2 cloves of finely chopped garlic, and that goes in and that gets a good old mince together. Mix that up. And once that's thoroughly mixed, you just need to set that aside to marinate for a bit while we prepare the pastry for the Momos. Another thing I neglected to show you was putting in the black pepper. Bit forgetful today. So in with the black pepper and give that a mix. Nice, I love black pepper. Brings out the sweetness in everything, love it. It's a great, great spice. Right, onto the dough. Alright, it's a very fairly simple dough. What I've got there is a couple of cups of plain flour, which is like your all-purpose flour perhaps, and just standard plain flour. And I'm just going to add a little bit of salt to that, and a little bit of oil. So that's about half a tablespoon of oil, and in with some water. Let's get in there and mix that. Bring it together as a dough. Make the most of this because you won't see me working with pastry very often. Alright, you work that now till it's fairly stiff dough. and then give it a good old knead just for a minute or two. Alright, once you've worked that into a dough, keep it covered for about half an hour just to let the gluten work its magic on that and give us a nice elastic dough. Okay, now my dough has sat for about half an hour. I'm going to get it onto a floured surface, and oh, it's a bit loose, but there you go. I'm not very experienced with dough. I'm not really much of a baker. And I've got this lovely rolling pin. It's like marble, like the I was always led to believe that you should always use cold things for dough, and it seems to be working rather well right now. Sorry about the background noises. There we go. And that's why we leave the dough to go for so long. I'm going to have to cut that in half and get another work on it in 2 halves. Okay, that dough was getting a little bit too big for my marble slab, wasn't it? There we go. And you want to roll this out really, really thin. So make sure you've got that your surface is well dusted and that your rolling pin's well dusted, and we roll that out real thin. It's a long time since I've made these, can't you tell? What I'm going to do is cut some out now it's nice and thin. And I'm using a fairly broad pastry cutter, so I'm just going to cut a few of those out. And then I rework the remaining dough, going on a floured surface. And then I just carry on until I've used all my dough up. Alright, now for filling them, you take a wrapper up and you stretch it out a little bit in your hand, like that. Take about a teaspoonful of the filling and then pinch them together at the top, like that. Work your way down each side, and they should stick. If they don't stick, have a little bit of water handy, just to make sure that they stick together. So give them a good old crimp and then push them down on the surface so that they look like that. Let me bring in a bit closer. So it ends up looking like that, pinched together. Transfer that to a plate and work on the next one. Alright, for the lion's head dumplings, which are just steamed meatballs, you need to get a bit of oil on a plate, and it needs to be a plate that will be fine to go in the steamer. I'm going to do a few of these, so I'm using 2 little plates which will go in my steamer stack. And make sure you oil the plate. That's rather important, because onto that you now take a generous portion of the meat, like a tablespoonful of meat, and then you shape it into a quenelle like that, and then that just sits on the plate like that for steaming. Same again, and then you carry on until all those are done. So yeah. So those plates are now made up and ready for steaming. So what I use these Chinese bamboo steamers. Brilliant design. Really easy to use, stackable, and because they're made of bamboo, what happens is the wood swells up, or rather it's actually grass bamboo, but the material swells up, and it locks everything into position, so you don't get much steam escape like you would with a stainless steel steamer. And then that goes on, and you can stack these fairly high like they do in the dim sum shops in Hong Kong and elsewhere, and then that steams. But what we'll do first is we'll do the Potsticker dumplings and then steam these over the same pan straight afterwards. Alright, I'm christening my new stove top, so there you go. I'm just going to put that over the heat and see how long that takes to come up to full heat. That's going rather quickly, nicely. Alright, that's coming up to heat. And you want to get a couple of tablespoons of oil in the pan, swirl it round, make sure that you cover the base, swirl it around, and then drop in your Momos, drop your dumplings in. Some of these are getting a little twist on the end, but you want to fill a pan with these. So we let those fry until they go brown and crispy on the bottom, like that one's gone. And then what we do is you stand by with the lid, and then you need to tip some water in there. About 1/4 cup of water should do it. And then you place the lid on and allow them to steam. And all they should need is about 3 minutes, and they should be ready. Okay, after about 3 minutes we lift the lid and see what we got. And all I need to do now is transfer those to a serving plate. Alright, you've transferred those to a serving plate now, and then we need to get in some more water. Alright, that's coming up to the boil now. So I drop in my steamer stack, and if you need to top that up, do so with boiled water from a kettle. And that way you keep it steaming. So what I do is just add a little extra just in the rim there. And you want to be steaming that for about 8 minutes. So there we have it, Momos 2 ways. There's lion's head. I think like you can make lion's head with beef, with ground beef or beef mince as well. And the fillings I've seen are varied for these between anything from vegetarian fillings all the way up to minced pork and water chestnuts, which is a rather good one too. I like to serve that with my favourite hot pepper sauce, some good quality dip in soy sauce, and also some Chinese chili oil. And I won't spoil that plate, but I'll just grab another one and just dip that in there and take a little bite, let you see what it looks like. That's really good. So there you go. Potsticker dumplings and lion's head. Thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to follow my channel, please subscribe and be sure to click the bell icon to receive notification of all my upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.